I wanted to update a little more on the video yesterday that I posted with us in Bargain Hut. So the video ended up cutting off, and I didn't realize it wasn't recording anymore until we were actually about to leave. And I was like, oh, hey, okay. So anyway, what y'all did not see, and I wish y'all would have seen. So I started looking through clothes. Bargain Hut, they have really, really good prices on like new things and things like that. So I love shopping there. So what y'all did not see is while I was shopping, I'm standing there at racks of clothes, going through them. Max actually did so good yesterday. He was on complete focus, still watching around. There was a group of girls that was there that I had not seen. And, that's one of the reasons he looks around. Yes, sometimes he does get a little unfocused, but again, he's still learning. He's still in training. But one of the things that I'm training him to do is, keep an eye out. And if I'm not aware of something, or if there starts to get a crowd, because I don't like being in that crowd of people, for him to react to it. So this crowd of girls, they were off to my right. Max had actually been in a down in front of my legs while I was going through the clothes. And he stood up and got on my right side and pushed against me, just to kind of push me down a little bit. And that's what I've kind of taught him to do, is when there's a group of people, to push against me to kind of move me out of the way. And then I was able to look, and I said, okay, I see him. And I put him back in told him to go lay back down. So he went back into his downstay. The whole time I was shopping, and I was going through clothes for about 30-40 minutes. I wasn't having to say anything to him. I wasn't telling him, hey, come. I wasn't doing something like that. Yesterday was a minimal command day, because I wanted to see how much would he do without the commands, and he did phenomenal. Like, I cannot explain that enough. He did so good. I stopped, he was stopping. When I was looking through clothes, I wouldn't give him a command other than, to stay out of the way, which was to be in front of me, so he wasn't in the way. And he'd stand there, and then he'd go into a sit, and then he'd go into a down, and he would stay there in a down the entire time, watching me, keeping an eye on me, and, of course, watching what was going on around us, just to make sure, and, he reacted accordingly to that group of girls. You goofball. So, he did so good. Something new that we have been working on is to find Chase, which is my husband. And at one point, when I'd been looking in the clothes, he didn't tell me where he was going, and so I couldn't find him in the store. And I told Max, I said, find Chase. And it took Max a second. He started kind of going back the way we had came. Like, he could tell he was smelling, and he was sniffing, trying to track Chase down. He started kind of going the way we came, and then, he figured it out, and actually brought me straight to Chase. And so he did really, really good with that. I was actually really happy about him figuring that out. So that was really good. After that, we went over to Books A Million. I ended up getting a new book, but while we were in there, he did really good. Same thing. He was focusing very well. He was, listening. He was not so much listening as he was just doing it all on his own, which is great, because he's already gotten into the habit of when we stop to sit and to wait. And then, he was doing that very well, but while we were standing there, looking through a lot of things, he was laying down and waiting on us. And so he did so good, guys. I wish I would have had all that on video, but I just didn't have enough memory in my phone to start another video. So, but he did so fantastic. And then when we were in the car, Max was in the back seat, which is where I try to put him most of the time. And Max, my anxiety was a little high that day, and he was forcefully pushing his paw through the door, between the door and my seat, trying to paw me, trying to, give me an alert that I was about to pass out. And he did it. Even though there was an obstacle between us and he couldn't full on get to me, he did. And when I leaned the seat back, because when we're in the car, I lean the seat back so that if I pass out, I'm laying down. Obviously Chase was driving, but I leaned the seat down, and when I did, he did his best to kind of like put his front paws on the head of my seat and laid his head down, watching me, licking me. And I've been trying to get him to train him to react when I'm passed out, to lick and nuzzle and things like that. So we do a lot of practicing with it, like me laying on the floor, passed out, and training him. And so he's been doing really good with that. Guys, he did so good yesterday. His focus, it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. I could not have asked for a better focus from him that I got yesterday. And just, he was I can't even say listening, because I wasn't telling him to do anything. He was just doing it because he knew what he needed to do. So, he's still in training. He still has a long way to go. But he is just getting so much better, and what it takes is, it's practice makes perfect. I don't think that a shy nose that's kind of wandering, or, wandering eyes, or, things like that, I don't think that should boot a dog out for public access, because obviously there's a lot of puppies that are in training that need public access practice. As long as the dog is, leashed, it's behaving, it's still minding, and it's not a distraction, and you're trying to train it, I don't see any problem with it. So, but he's doing phenomenal. He really is. And again, we have a lot of training to go, but we've been working on a lot of things here at the house, and just, in general, that we've been working with on training. And he's flying through it. He really is. But, guys, he is doing so good. On another note, really quick, I don't do spammers. If you were going through spamming all the comments, whatever, after you've already put your opinion in and your input in, if you go through and you're spamming, going to other people's comments and commenting, and, after already saying your piece, and you're going to continue doing that on many other comments, not only am I going to delete all your comments, but I'm going to block you as well, because I'm not going to deal with spammers. That is not something I'm going to deal with. I can take a little criticism. I'm fine with that. But if you are spamming, I'm going to delete those, and then I am going to block you, because I'm not going to deal with spammers. That is just not something I want. That is not something I want on my channel. That is not something I want other viewers and subscribers to have to deal with, is someone going through spamming. Put your piece in, say what you need to say, but after that, don't say anything else. Don't go and harass the rest of the comments and things like that. You may not always agree with things I do, but that is why I am me and you are you. So, as you would do things differently, I do things my way. Everyone does things that someone else is not going to fully agree on. It's just, it is what it is. I'm going to do things that y'all don't always agree on, but I'm trying my best to not only show y'all what we go through on a daily basis, but, to also try to educate on my way. And so it may come out rude, and you gotta think, when it comes out rude, a lot of times when things do come rude from me, it is because I'm having an anxiety attack, and things always sound a lot ruder than they really are. And I've noticed I just get very harsh and, just very blunt to the point, and I don't mean to. I think I'm being nice, and I'm trying to be nice, but it comes out differently. So, but, I'm going to continue to show y'all what we encounter. If that means we come across a service dog that is not a service dog and it's just a pet, or a service dog that is an ESA and is being passed off as a service dog, I'm going to show y'all that. Whether I say something or not is a different story, but I'm at least going to show it to you. If the dog is behaved, if it's leashed, I'm probably not going to go up and say anything. If that dog's sitting there pulling on a leash, the owner's not doing anything to correct it, it's 9 times out of 10 not going to be a service dog or a service dog in training, because a service dog in training, especially puppies, even though they're still learning, they pull on the leash, things like that, the owner corrects them. They fix that, and they try to correct them. So you can always kind of weed out the fakes from the reals, because a fake service dog, the owner's not going to care what they do. A real service dog or a real service dog in training, the owner is going to do their best to correct it, because they're trying to train proper manners. So, again, Max, he did so good, guys. Like, he's figuring it out. And again, it takes practice. He needs the hours in public, and, he's doing so good. He's not dog reactive. Obviously if a dog is whining and trying to get out of the cart and he sees it and it's whining, he's going to look at it, but he's still learning. He's still got a long way to go. But he is, honestly, guys, he's doing so good. And, we've had problems where, we've been in public and there was a dog in there and where we were at, and, it was for the most part behaving. It was on a leash. I didn't really say anything. At the time I wasn't recording, but I didn't say anything, but it had started barking when it saw Max. But we were walking by, they were walking out of the store as we were walking in, and it had started barking when it saw Max, and I didn't care enough at that point to say anything. Max, looked at it, and I told Max to leave it and got him to refocus and touch. We've been doing touch, which we've only been doing it with our right hand, so he's not figured out to touch on my left hand yet. We've got to work on that. But the big thing was giving him something to touch and something to, get him focused a little more. So we're going to work on more touching and touching with the left hand and then maybe my leg and things like that, because I also want to shape that into an alert cue at some point. So, guys, he's doing phenomenal. I'll keep y'all updated. What's today? Today's Tuesday? So tomorrow is Wednesday. We may be going swimming tomorrow. I'm not really sure what all we're doing. Max has already been to a pool once before. He did great at the pool. Just for safety.